Remember in the winter I introduced you to Yarbo, the snowblower, when it was cleaning off my driveway 3 times this winter, and I said I'd be back in the spring with the lawnmower attachment. Well, take a look behind me, because that's what we're going to talk about today.
This is an unsponsored video that contains products provided without charge by the manufacturer for demonstration purposes. All opinions are my own.
Yarbo is the world's first multifunction yard maintenance robot. In the winter, snap on the snowblower module to clear your driveway and sidewalks. Pop on the lawnmower module and trimmer attachment to keep your lawn perfectly maintained all spring and summer. Oh yeah, that reminds me, did I mention that Yarbo is the world's first autonomous lawn trimmer too? And if that's not enough, so you can snap on the blower module in the fall to save yourself countless hours raking leaves. And if that's not enough, it also comes with a tow hitch that you can pull things like an aerator or dethatcher, and even have it follow you around with a garden cart. And last but not least, you can use the included Smart Assist module to patrol your property and alert you of intruders. I wonder if it could be programmed to chase deer, geese, or solicitors away too. That'd be pretty cool. Attachment number 2 for the Yarbo has arrived. This is the lawnmower. And it's perfect timing because the lawn is really beginning to grow. It is now spring, and it's time to get it mowed. So I got to cut it over from the snowblower to the lawnmower. Now the other thing I'm going to do is relocate it because the charging pad was here for the winter, and I also had the data center over here just temporarily, just for the winter as well. And now that I have my shed at least being built, I'm going to put the data center inside the shed, and I'm actually going to relocate the charging pad to the other side of the house. The spring routine of converting Yarbo from a snowblower to a lawnmower was pretty easy. I just unlocked the 2 latches on the snowblower module so that I could lift it off the Yarbo core. Then I unplugged the power cable and put the snowblower away until next season. The hardest part was replacing the snow tracks with the normal tracks, and that's necessary because the snow tracks are rugged and they'd tear up the lawn. I also took this opportunity to grease the tracks before installing them. This will need to be done periodically throughout the year as well to keep the tracks driving smoothly. The lawnmower module gets plugged in and snaps onto the same 4 pins on the front of the Yarbo core. The app instantly recognizes that Yarbo is now configured as a lawnmower instead of a snowblower, so that any of the previous maps of my driveway and sidewalks don't apply. I also cleaned and relocated the charging dock from my backyard to the other side of my house, so that I wouldn't need to keep the gate open for Yarbo to get to the charger. Now I'll just need to open the gate for it to mow the backyard. Since this was my first year with the lawnmower, my first task was mapping the grass area where I wanted it to mow, plus mapping the no-go zones where I didn't want it to mow, and the pathways that lead from one area to another. My corner property is over an acre with 35,000 square feet of lawn. I mapped my entire yard into 8 areas, including the narrow parkways between the sidewalk and the street. I was very impressed how it rides along the curb exactly as I mapped it. It's pretty good. It's going right along the edge, just like I told it to. The mower itself is very quiet. But not so quiet that you're not going to hear it, especially with the motors on the tracks. They are a really annoying whine that it's not going to sneak up on anybody. The The GPS on this thing is extremely accurate, as long as the data center stays in a fixed position. The data center was installed in this vicinity, and it was temporarily installed, and I had problems with it because it would move in the wind. So I had said I was building a shed and I was going to mount the data center on the shed. Well, not only did I mount it on the shed, but I mounted it in the shed. And the shed is still under construction, obviously, but it's mounted inside the shed, nice and protected from the weather. And you can see it's got a green light, which means it's got fine signal, and it is controlling the robot, which is mowing my front lawn right now. Now, one of the downsides of the data center is this cable here, which is an Ethernet cable that runs under my back door and connects into my router. So when I get electricity out here in the shed, I plan on putting a network repeater so that I don't have to have that cable anymore. But it's still, the data center itself is not Wi-Fi attached. It is only connected directly to your router by a cable. And so that's another reason why it's really good to put it someplace, if you can, in your attic or in your garage or something like that. And that's just a little plumbing strap that I put a couple of screws in to hold it to a stud. And it's really, it's not going to move. It's not going to move from wind or anything like that. Now I have Yarbo programmed to do the backyard as well. I mapped this out. And again, the only thing I have to do is make sure that I keep the gate open on days that I want to let it run in here. I don't use it on a schedule. I'm always home when I run it because, especially in the backyard, I make sure I walk the yard and see that there's no sticks on the lawn, no toys left out, and of course, no dog droppings. Now, although I mentioned that I like to scan the yard before mowing, I do that just as a precaution. It does have obstacle avoidance. It has 6 cameras on it, plus radar, and a very sensitive front bumper that if it hits anything, it will absolutely back up and notify you that it's hit an obstruction. So I really don't worry about it. Like I said, it's just for precaution. The Yarbo Lawn Mower has a 20-inch cutting width, and the height is adjustable in the app from 1.2 to 4 inches. And this is configurable for each area in case you have different kinds of grass. Although my yard is relatively flat, it can handle uneven landscapes with up to 70% grades, which is a 35-degree angle. It has an IPX6 waterproof rating, which means it can't be submerged, but it can stay outdoors in any kind of weather all year round. Yarbo is powered by a 36-volt, 38-amp-hour battery that's easily removable and replaceable if necessary down the road. It can mow for 210 minutes on a full charge, and that's around 0.4 acres or 17,000 square feet of lawn. Speaking of charging, Yarbo uses a contact-free induction charging dock, very similar to the way that mobile phones charge by laying them on a charging pad. I don't know of any other robotic lawnmowers that use induction charging. All the ones I've seen have metal contacts that often get dirty, and that increases the resistance, which generates heat, sometimes getting them hot enough to melt the surrounding plastic and even catch on fire. I love the look of perfectly straight lines on my lawn, and I have it set to rotate 30 degrees every time it mows so that the stripes constantly change direction and prevent compaction. But all of these things are configurable settings in the app. The only maintenance required is periodically flipping and replacing the blades, plus greasing the tracks. Alright, what you can see here is it has a design that there's 2 mowing decks there, and each of them has 5 blades on them. And the blades are like little razor blades, which is very common on a lot of autonomous mowers. It's got these blade guards on the side as well, and I know some people complain about the blade guards getting in the way and they remove them, but they're a safety feature that comes with it. It's got really big industrial casters on the front. It does have options for things to attach on the side of it here. It's even got a little power and data port right there. There's also a rain sensor right here so that if it starts raining while it's mowing, it'll come back to the dock and wait for the rain to stop. So other than having to reverse and replace the blades periodically, which I haven't done yet, the other maintenance item is that you have to grease the tracks. Okay, so I popped that back on, and the only downside of obviously the docking station being here off the grass is that it does beat up this piece of grass a little bit as it turns around to back in, and even pulling out, it does a lot of spinning in that area. But you know, if that bothers you, you got to find another strategic spot to put it. But I fully expect this grass is going to die right here. The other thing is that it is making a path pretty consistently to get out to my main lawn. Right here, there's a pretty consistent spot that it goes. And that's because where I'm standing right now is one area, but I defined the big lawn as another area. And I did that so that I can use different settings for this side than I did in the big lawn. So the big lawn uses stripes, and this lawn here uses a circular pattern, or they call it spiral. So it'll actually follow the contours of the ground. Now you can see it does an outline of the edge, and it comes right here. So that's the area. This is I call it the front lawn, which is massive in my house. And this, I just call this is the left side of the house. So I call that the left side. And this is a pathway that goes between them. So that's why it uses that spot so much. And you can see it mowed this spot. This side has been mowed to 3.4 inches, and this side has not been mowed yet. So that's why it's a little bit, you can see it's a little bit taller. The other side, nice and trim. And you can see here in the app, it says that it's 80% done with my front lawn. And it's just going to recharge for a little while, and then it'll continue for another hour and 20 minutes, and then it'll be done. And right now it's up to 27% charge. I think when it goes up to 80 is when it will resume. Might go sooner if it knows that it only has an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not really sure. It could. Who knows? All I know is I don't have to worry about it. It does it on its own. When it's done charging, it'll get back to work.
What sets the Yarbo mower apart from its competition is the outstanding 6-acre coverage with unlimited mowing areas, plus the wireless charging dock, the ability to mow and trim at the same time, and of course the ability to leverage the robot for so many other uses. Now, if you can't be bothered with the setup and maintenance of a robot, there's an increasing network of independent Yarbo dealers around the world who sell and support the unit, and they'll handle the setup for you. If you're worried about somebody stealing it, the Yarbo core and lawnmower weighs nearly 200 pounds. And if that's not enough of a theft deterrent, you can also define a geofence around your property and be instantly alerted if the robot crosses that line. So far, I'm very impressed with the Yarbo Lawn Mower, and I'll continue to test it throughout the season to see how it performs.
I am an affiliate of Yarbo, so I'll put a link in the video description with a coupon code that can save you a little bit of money if you choose to buy one. And if you have any questions about the Yarbo Lawn Mower or snowblower or any of the other attachments, just leave me a comment down below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.
Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDad.tv for more great ideas and information.